do something right around here. So normally, or just like with other categories, obviously, you're just gonna start like this. There's a video already, I'll link it down below, of how to set up the file to do this. I'm not gonna show you how to do it right now, it's just gonna take too long. Same thing with explaining Paris. There's a lot to cover for 100%, and this is the least of your worries. The only thing that you need to know for 100% is the vault down here that has the police file in it doesn't actually count. It doesn't give you a percentage point, so we don't bother collecting it. That's pretty much the only thing you need to know. That trick is really easy. I'll link the other tutorials down below. I'll link, like I said, I'll link the file creation video and the 80% one. And the 80% one, just watch like the very first portion of it, like the first 5 minutes, and it'll explain how to do that trick. And then the file creation video, you'll need to watch that to learn how to actually set up the file to run. But I'm not going to cover those things. Because I'm assuming if you're coming into this game, or if you're coming into 100%, you probably already run the game. You're probably not going to start with 100%, so that's why I'm kind of glossing over that. Although, if you are going to start with 100%, kudos to you. It's pretty cool, actually. I think this category is great. I don't necessarily know if it's very beginner friendly, but alright. Same thing with this trick. The easiest way I can think to explain it is this first E after the K. You get up here and then you walk forward like you're gonna run into that, and then hold against it until you get launched. Then once you get launched, just push up to here and good to go. Double jump up here. Instead of any percent in all keys, instead of going right, we're gonna go left here. And it's really important that you jump to this rock, and you jump over this rock instead of falling down in this little gap here. And the reason why is we have to go over here to collect some bottles, but right on the outside of this this little cave here, extending all the way out until like the end of this rock line is a cutscene, and then that extends all the way up to up there. So that entire area you can clear the cutscene, and it's bad. You don't want to do that. So come down here, get these 2 bottles. Now, this is weird. You only need to hit this once for the bottles to fall down. But I always hit it twice, just because. But you only have to hit it once. Then you're just gonna come right around, or right back around here. You can shortcut this jump if you want, but you don't have to. You're gonna come over here and get this bottle. And then, even though it seems a little out of the way to do this now, there's not really a good time to come and do this, because you have to go over there to get those bottles. So, it's gonna do that, and then climb up here, and grab these 2. Now, for these 2 bottles, I like to break this and then jump, because you can hit this from down here, and then collect the bottles like that. So that way, you know, it cuts out having to, like, jump and attack, and then jump and attack. It's just more smooth and fluid. Potentially, Ebros. Like, when those things come up, I will explain, like, oh, hey, this is also done in all keys and whatnot, but I'll probably just explain everything, even if it's similar, except that starting stuff. This is another trick that we do in the other categories. The easiest way I could think to explain it is, when you have a lineup like this, this little flag, like this one right here, the first one to the left of the second ship, kind of like line yourself up for that, and then just hold forward. And then when Sly starts to pull out his Binocucom, I hold up left on the analog stick, like this. And the reason for that is if you keep holding forward too much, you'll slide down too fast and you'll die before Sly pulls out the Binocucom. Other than that, this next section's pretty much simple. Don't die to this guy. Dying is bad. One thing to note is there's a lot more run to this, and dying and game overing puts you at the very beginning of the level, which is really bad when you need to do everything in the level. So you want to make sure that you don't want to just die for the sake of dying as much as possible, even more so than 80%.
Jump and hit the circle button to grab onto hooks.
Alright. So unfortunately, it's not faster to go back and do the out of bounds to skip that cutscene, so we just have to watch it. So far, there's not been anything found to skip that other than the out of bounds that's done in the other categories. But since you need the bottles, you have to go that way. So from here, we need those bottles up there to the right, and we also need those bottles up there to the left. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump up here on this, and you can kill that guy if you would like to. You don't really have to, but this is a pretty easy jump to get up to here. And then what you're gonna do, normally your camera will be positioned like this, so you'd be holding straight left. But if you want to turn the camera, you can. And you're just gonna double jump and mash circle, and you should latch onto this pretty easily. Now for this, it doesn't matter how you go about this, if you go left or right. What does matter is if you trigger these alarms earlier down there, they can spot you. Like when they're red, they can spot you up here and kill you while you're up here. So you want to make sure you avoid that as much as possible. And then from here, just come all the way over here. And what we're going to actually do is we're going to wait and we're going to come back and get the vault later. So we're just going to jump down here, get the key, and then we're going to exit the level. And what that's going to do is when we exit the level, it's going to give us the warp point for the hub. So normally in the other categories, you would go through here and then you would load the game, and it would just put you all the way in the main hub, bypassing all the platforming to get to there, you know, going up here and running all that stuff down there. Normally you would just load the game here and do that in the other categories. However, we have to go back in and get the vault. So we're gonna do some fancy menuing here. Oops. I'm gonna come back backwards. That's a really easy double jump. I just did it on accident without pressing circle. But you can just press circle and get on this and make the jump even easier for yourself. But you can just hit this through the wall like that. And Bentley never shuts up about anything. I don't want to talk over him. So you can just hit this like that normally. You can also jump and swing like that, and both of them are pretty easy. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to pause, because Bentley's not going to shut up. The vault codes are the exact same no matter what. Stealthy approach is always going to be 792. Into the machine will always be 227. High class heist will always be 436. They're the exact same. What you get from the vaults is different, but if you're doing the route the way that I'm laying it out for you, it'll be the exact same. You'll get the same power-ups that I get when you get them. But one thing to note is that the codes will always be the same. So what I recommend doing, and I'll even pull up live split here really quick just to kind of show you, what I recommend doing, especially when you're just starting out, is to have them in your split files. I should have thought about this. We'll go and capture cursor. So so right here I have the 792 here at the start of my splits, and I recommend putting them in the front, because when they're in the back, if you're ahead or behind too much, when you start losing time on a split, it'll cover up the code. So you want them to be at the front, and then it's just a simple little reminder, like, hey, this code's this level is this code, because like I said, they're never going to change. So that's what I honestly recommend doing. I'm going to close that though now. Oh no. What is this? What? Okay. I don't know why that was doing that, but it doesn't matter. Alright. So, what I'm going to do here, and I forgot, Bailey's not going to stop talking. I'm going to input the code, but I'm going to do it in kind of a weird way. I'm going to input 7 first, then I'm going to go ahead and input the 2, then I'm going to come back and input the 9. And what this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you a little bit of time to pause the game or press select to bring up the view map screen. Pressing select is faster, generally speaking, because normally you want to view map out of these, but some of them you want to just exit the level, and then some of them you're going to want to load. So it's just kind of, knowing what to do. I'd recommend just pausing all the time. And then, as you saw on the bottom left there, I got the autosave, which means I've already collected what's in this vault. I already have dive. I don't need to watch the vault open, and I don't need to listen to Billy talk. So I can just go to view map, and since I went through the door and got the warp point, I can just warp straight away into the hub and start running to the next level. I recommend equipping dive you need to do R2 or L2 to cycle through your powers. And since we skipped the page, it does not auto-equip. So I recommend putting on Dive, just to make one little part a little bit easier if you want to go for a very tiny strat, but which I'll include because it's not like it's really hard, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. So you want to make sure you don't forget this bottle. I recommend double jumping to that, and then double jumping again after you've gotten it. That way you can come here and get this in one cycle. I messed up my movement a little bit there, but you should be able to get this in one cycle and get this bottle down here. Bentley just never shuts up. Never. So here you want to be careful. You can jump from this and get this bottle like that, but it's a little risky sometimes if you're too close to the center object. When you press circle, you'll fall down to the bottom. So I always do it like this from up here, or rather, when you're far enough away from it, you'll fall. So what I like to do is I like to double jump from here and then press circle to grab it. But really it's just preference. And these, you want to just make sure you're watching your bottles. Remember that you get, or make sure that you remember that you get them. Especially these, you only get one shot at these ones in the middle. You can only get to, like, you can't bounce back up. So I would be careful. Now something like that happens, and you miss the bottle, it does fall down below, so you don't have to worry about those, but you can't get back up, see? You always want to make sure you get the 3 in the middle, guaranteed, but the other ones will just fall down here, so you don't have to worry too much about that. To here, this is where dive kind of pays off, and you can just do a little thing here and just dive. It's really, really easy. Skip that with using dive, so that's the only reason why I'm even including it. It's just really that simple. Now I don't recommend doing what I'm doing, and I really should have not done that. I recommend just climbing along the pipes like normal. It's a lot safer. Now these bottles, you have another thing to worry about with the lasers, but provided you do you don't miss anything, you don't have to sit here and not do anything, you don't have to worry about it. And you want to make sure you land on this to grab this bottle, because this is another no return bottle. If this happens, you have to jump down here and die to this guy, and then do the entire thing over again, so that's pretty slow, but you can come back and get that. Now from here, you want to jump up here and grab these two, and you want to be careful about this guy, because his hitbox is very weird, and you should always get this checkpoint, unless you try to skip him really heavily, but I recommend jumping up here and going for the kill on him, and then if you die, you still have the checkpoint. It's not that big of a deal. Next you're going to jump over here and do this, and there's actually two things that I'm going to go over here, because I don't think this strat is very hard. What you're going to do is you're going to wait until one of these lines, it doesn't have to be any specific line, but just one of these lines is equal to Sly's feet, and then you're going to jump up and over the little cogwheel, and you're going to hold the jump button, and then after a little bit, you're going to press jump again, and this whole time you're going to be holding up. And what this is going to allow you to do it properly, again, if you do it properly, is get up here and kind of catch yourself, and this allows you to get this bottle. I honestly, I recommend messing around with this. It's honestly, it's not too terribly hard, and if you sit here and you mess around with it and you miss it like 2 or 3 times, it still just breaks even with coming over here and just sitting here and waiting for this. Like, this is the alternative strat, is coming over here and waiting, and then sitting here and waiting a little bit more, and then coming up here and then getting the bottle right now, and then jumping back down here and coming all the way over here, So I mean, it pretty much like breaks even if you mess this up a few times. So I recommend just learning that strat. But if you can't get it, obviously don't be discouraged. There's an alternative. Um, you know, just switch over and do the alternative if you can't get it. I definitely recommend at least giving it a shot. I'm gonna come over here and get these last 2 bottles. And unfortunately, we can't do anything to skip this vault, so we have to watch it. It kind of sucks, but what can you do? The vaults, some of the vaults that you do have to watch give you a little bit of extra downtime. Okay. So now we have the best ability in the game, and as you saw there, since we watched the page, we have it equipped. We have roll, and here's where it's gonna get a little. Here's where like some of the I guess skill level can kind of seem a little off-putting. What I recommend learning, if you don't already know it, is called the claw grip. And what the claw grip is using your your right index finger, and holding down the triangle button with it. So that way, if you need to, you can move the camera around while you're doing this with your thumb, or you can easily come out of a jump and whatnot, or come out and immediately attack or press circle. All those things. This isn't required for using roll. You can very easily get around by holding with your thumb and then jumping. But there's an ability later on that requires you to hold down triangle the entire time for this category. So I recommend learning and getting used to the claw grip as quickly as possible, because it will make your life a lot easier for running 100%. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're gonna just come over here and do this jumping in. If you, like I said, if you're having trouble with that, you can just go over here to the left after you unlock the vault. If you have trouble getting the cogwheel jump strat, you can just come over here, roll down, and then just wait for this to come down again. There's nothing wrong with doing the alternate strats. And then you're just gonna ride this all the way down, because this is gonna take you to the end of the level. And I always like to single jump and then just mash the heck out of the square button, because Sly likes to not attack quick enough, and sometimes we even miss this. So I would just be as safe as possible with that. And then you're just gonna come over here and grab the key and exit level. And that's I guess I should kind of explain that. When Sly breaks the key case, you can, like, when you go to do that attack, you can pause at the same time that you break it, or a little bit before it, and hit exit level. Skip the key cases and whatnot. Just like we did earlier with the vault, where we paused during the vault thing and do that. Yeah. When you come out of the level, this guy's cycle will be set up to where you can, if you're using roll, you can roll right away out, and then you should be able to clear this guy. You won't have to wait for him, but if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have a charm, so if you don't feel comfortable, just wait. Wait for him to do his turn, and then roll up and just whack him in the back of the head. Just crack him real good one time. Here, using roll in this building is kind of weird. There's a lot of these little bumps that can heck you up. So I wouldn't recommend using roll in this first portion until you've gotten your feet underneath it, because roll is a very weird ability, and a lot of things interact with you while you're rolling that you wouldn't normally think would interact with you. So I would just make sure that you're not doing that yet until you feel comfortable with it. Now, this bottle, you can either get it now, or you can get it on the second way through. We have to come back through here anyway, so get this bottle whenever you want. Honestly, it doesn't matter. From here, though, you do want to start your roll, and roll all the way down here. You can get past these lasers. Now, to do this the easiest and the quickest and safest kind of way, what I recommend is double jumping over this, and then just jumping through this and running straight way up to here. When you trigger the lasers from this kind of location here, they don't close quick enough to where you have to worry about jumping this, and you can run up and just kill this, and now you don't have to worry about the laser trying to hunt you throughout this whole area. You just do your own free will. Now there's a multitude of ways that you can do these bottles. I'll throw off a few, just because, you know, it's kind of, it's pick and choose your own adventure kind of thing. There's a lot of ways to do this, and all of them are pretty equivalent in speed. So normally you'll be up here at the start, so you can either go left or you can go right. Going right, when you want to get up on this, make sure you hit it while you're jumping up to it, just to make it go by a little bit faster, and you'll double jump and you'll attack them like that and break that. Alternatively, if that's kind of too difficult, you can just break this down here, break the thing, and then jump up and hit them, and that's fine. That works too. And after you would do that, you want to break this and then come up here and break these. You can also do this in one motion by attacking and jumping, and then you can double jump, or you can just single jump and break the bottles like that. Both of those ways work wonders. Then you can drop down and get these, then just jump back up, or you know, you can come over here, break that, break those bottles, come down here and break these bottles, and then roll over here, break these bottles and break these, and then if you wanted, you could jump up here and walk around this way and come up here and hit this last bottle. That's a way you can do that. Might be a little bit easier. Alternatively, let me get my camera resituated here. Alternatively, you could make this kind of wonky jump and hit this bottle like that. After you've cleared these, you can also come over here, and this just jumps a little weird because you kind of, you can get bounced around up here. Double jump onto this thing, and then double jump up here and hit it like that. Or hit it and then fall down. But either way, you know, just pick and choose. It doesn't really matter. You're gonna break these, and you want to make sure you kind of stay clear of these guys, because if they're like getting stuck on the safe here, and you break it, like mid animation, they can actually come through and kill you. So you want to just kind of play it safe. Make sure you don't get hacked. Do that. Here, you know, just however you want to get through this. Don't die, obviously, but however you want to get through this is fine. If you do die, you're good to go. Just come through, kill these dudes again, all good. And then, like I said, however you want to go past these low passes, it's up to you. Just make sure you get that bottle. And then you can break this if you want, doesn't matter. Come around this way to get these two. Make sure you don't forget them, there are two here. And then you're just going to come through here, break these bottles, double jump around this light, double jump around this light, break this bottle, and then break this bottle. It is worth mentioning that these bottles can be a little tricky to get if you have triggered an alarm, so try your hardest to not trigger one of these alarms. It'll make it a lot easier for you. If you did trip one of them and you don't feel comfortable trying to like edge your way through and hit them, the alarm is right here. You can just break the alarm and then come back and get both these bottles if you don't feel comfortable. Either way works just fine. Then there are two more bottles over here, and you're gonna come up here to the key case, and you can roll this if you want. It doesn't really matter. And you're gonna break it and pause again. I missed the pause button. But what you're gonna want to do is break it and pause at the same time, and then what that'll do is it'll auto-save you having collected all the bottles, and then you'll load the game, so you'll load the same file, and I'll show what the menu would look like. So we'll pretend this glass is the key. So we broke it, we got our autosave, and we're gonna come down, and we're gonna just load the game, and that'll skip the key animation, and then put us right back here at the start of the level. Because if you remember, I said we needed to come back through here, get that one bottle, and if you notice, we're also missing 3 other bottles, and we haven't collected the vault yet. So since the vault rather is all the way over here, and you can roll like this, and there's some bottles right here. We come back and do this so we can skip the thing, and oh, huh. Well, that's interesting. I thought that just couldn't reach you. So, learning things while I'm making a tutorial. That's funny. The person making the tutorial for learning is learning things. So if you trip this alarm, it doesn't really matter. So long as you... So I'm going to trip it like this on purpose. And then I'm going to enter this. And while I'm in this, I can't die. You can't die while you're in this, apparently. I didn't think it couldn't... I thought it couldn't reach you. But apparently you're just immune. So like Bentley said, we're going to input 4. And then instead of 3, we're going to input 2. And then we're going to input 6 again. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do the 3 and pause like we did earlier in Stealthy Approach. And you can do one of 2 things. I recommend view mapping. And then view mapping back to here. Or you can alternatively, you can exit the level. Both achieve the same thing. They skip having to listen to the vault cutscene. However, this way is just a little bit faster movement. It gets you right to where you want to be at, which is right here. Now this strat is a little weird. I'm going to show off 3 different ways to enter this. This is kind of like a more advanced kind of thing, but I don't think it's that hard to where I don't want to talk about it. What you want to do is there's this little crimp in the fence here, like the little guide rail rather. You want to stand right about here, and then just double jump up here. And you'll either land like this, or you can just double jump back out and around and get up here, or you'll just straight up ledge grab this if you did your jump good enough, and you just tap up here and you'll enter the level right away. Alternatively, and this is another reason why I would recommend view mapping, because it makes these other 2 ways faster. Alternatively, you can jump up to this little pipe right here, and then double jump on the corner of this pipe. It's a little weird. But you can double jump on this, and then you can just double jump up here and get up here this way, and this is a little bit faster. Or you can just do straight up casual strats, and you can just come over here and run on the little cogwheel until this comes down, and then just jump over here like this. It really doesn't matter how you choose to do it. Either way is fine. Obviously, you know, I showed the fastest strat first, and then the second fastest, and third fastest. But, you know, just do whatever's comfortable with you. That's really what matters.
Temperature's reading way off the charts in here.
Let Bentley talk here.
Power source for the storm machine.
I hate talking over Bentley. Can I, like... Nah, this is before those kinds of settings were allowed. So right away at the start, there's a vault over here, or a safe, and safes are the things that hold bottles inside them, and then vaults hold the power-ups. We're going to come back to these later, so we're going to just ignore them for now. And when you land, you're going to double jump up, hit this bottle, and then you're going to come over to here, and you can do all this with roll if you would like. And then you're going to stand right about here, double jump, and then just swing at the apex of your jump, and you should grab that, and you should be far enough away where you don't get burned. When you do this, you should be good enough to hit that and not die, but, you know. And then you're just going to roll on. I recommend double jumping to gain enough height to hit that, but you don't need it. And then obviously you want to double jump to this one as well to hit it, and also close the vent at the same time. And then from here, we're going to jump out and around to the right side of this pipe, and you can do this from here, or you can get on top of the rail. Like this. I recommend just doing the jump from here. It's not that hard. You just double jump out and over. It's really not that hard, so I just recommend doing that. And then sticking to the right, and double jumping onto this thing, and jumping up to hit this bottle. Now you want to be careful. You don't want to go much further than this, because if you go any further than this, you'll probably end up triggering the cutscene that we just skipped. So I would just make sure you get up here to the right side of this, and then just double jump, hit that, and then come over here, and hidden behind this, like, you know, this coal or whatever is another bottle, so you want to hit that. And then we're gonna come up here, and we're gonna land on this little bit of this machine, and we're just gonna single jump and break that bottle. And then from here, we're gonna jump over here to the right side, and we're gonna break this last bottle. We're gonna come up here and kill this guy, and then from here, we are gonna just come around here to this little pipe section here, climb up this, and then jump up here, and go about this from the top. And from here, it's pretty simple. Just double jump here and break those 2 bottles. Jump up here and break these 2 bottles. And come over here and get these 3 hidden behind that. Get this one over here. Kill this dude. And then I always recommend waiting until this thing forces you to jump off because the light is red. Then you jump off and you break these, and then you can actually hit this through the wall and cause it to explode and break the gate here. And then always remember that there will be 2 bottles to your right. Sometimes they'll be really far away like that. Sometimes they'll be right here. Sometimes they'll even be here. It just is determined on how long you get to run on this thing. From here though, we're gonna just double jump right up here to this and break this because it's annoying, frankly. So you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna break this, and then you're gonna come over here and break these 2. You can jump into the one and then break the other one with the attack, and then you're gonna come back up here and break this one. Now you should be at 28 when you do this, and it's important to make sure that you're at 28 because the last 2 are at the start of the level. And if you're not at 28, there's a lot of bottles you can check right here. You can check the 3 there, the 1 that's over there, you know, all 4 that are around here, or all 6 rather that are around here. You know, the 4 that are in there. There's a lot of bottles you can check right here to make sure that you got all of those. So I always recommend making sure you have 28 before you come up here and breaking this key case. And then here you're gonna break it and pause at the same time, just like last time. And we're gonna load the game. Because now that it's saved, all of our bottles having been collected, and just put us back at the start, right where we need to be at, and the key has been collected, and we can come over here. We can input the code 579. So what you can actually do is for this one, and you can do it for all the vaults, but this is the only one that we're going to be doing this on. For this one, you can just go ahead and hit exit level, and then never mind. I just lied to you. Erase that from your brain. What you're actually gonna do is come over here and input the 579. And then after you've pressed down to change it to 9, then you're gonna go and exit your level, and you'll unlock it during the fade out like that. And that is what you're supposed to do. Alternatively, if that's kind of a little scary to you and you don't want to mess around with that, you can just do 5, 8, 9, and then go back to the middle digit, uptick it to 7, and then pause and exit level. The way we've been pausing and view mapping out the other ones. Both ways work just fine. Just one's a little bit faster. Don't get hit by that guy. I'm bad. Yeah. And just to cover this, right now, there's an ability that can break that that vent. However, we do not have that yet, which is why I did not go over. So here, you want to get to this cutscene trigger as fast as possible. You don't want to waste time breaking these bottles, because we're gonna load the game right after we trigger this cutscene. So we're gonna load the game to skip the cutscene. And then we're gonna collect the bottles this time. We're gonna roll back over here to the center thing. And generally after the second time those guys shoot, you can jump out of that, and you should be good to go. From here, you're gonna start rolling. I'll go over 2 different ways to skip these guys. Well, actually, I'll probably go over 3 ways to skip collecting the barrel. This is the quickest, and in my opinion, honestly the easiest. When you get to right about where I'm at with Sly's position, you're just gonna hold forward and roll, and you should get enough speed to just straight up bypass these guys. And I'm gonna break them so I can get back through here. If you don't feel comfortable doing the roll strategy, an alternative method that you can do is you can run over here, and you can double jump down to this briefcase thing here, and you can double jump out and around and just break this. And as soon as you break that, you want to double jump to get, you know, to this area as quickly as possible. And if you're fast enough and your jumps are like good enough, you know, you do something like this, that should be good enough to kill this one before it shoots you and make this one not be able to shoot you quick enough. And both of those ways will work to get around this. The third method is obviously just doing the casual way. And the casual way is simply just bringing the barrel down here and then just, you know, walking through like that. But like I said, I think the roll strat is faster. That was a really weird bounce. What you're gonna do next is come over here and trigger this guy, and then when he runs over, kill him. And do that, and then make sure you grab these afterwards, so you don't forget them. You'll need them, obviously. And then here, I start my jump right around here, and then double jump off and hit that, and you should be good. I did show off the bookshelf way. I showed off 3 different ways to do it: rolling down from the thing, jumping off of the bookshelf, and then just doing it the casual way. I guess there's a 4th way, but honestly, I think it would just be too difficult to even bother messing with. So you can, like, I think you can get on like this bookcase and then jump to this bookcase, and yeah. This was the other bookcase way that I was showing. Just double jumping around and breaking this. Anyway. Like I said, you should be able to hit this from down here. But if you don't, you just keep missing, you don't want to mess with it. You can jump on this bookcase, this little stack of books here, and then just double jump up and hit it like that. And we don't need to go this way, we want the bottles. So you don't really need the stupid thing any longer, the casual little barrel thing. You don't really need that anymore. You can jump up here and grab these barrels, and then you're gonna jump up and grab this barrel or this bottle, and then double jump around this and collect these 2 bottles. And then you're gonna come over here and you're gonna break these 2 bottles, and then you're gonna come up here to this side, and this is a little tricky, but you're basically just gonna hold. You're gonna get an angle kind of like this, and you're just gonna hold forward and double jump really quick, and you should be able to skip get past these without these guys triggering and shooting you. And you're gonna come over here and get these last 2 bottles, and you'll be good to go. Now, alternatively, if that's a little too scary, what you can do instead is you can get on top of this, and you can just double jump up and over and hit this one, and that does the exact same thing. The only difference is you'll come over here, you'll collect these bottles, and you'll jump up here, get this bottle, you'll double jump over and break this, then you'll collect these 2 bottles, then you'll come over here, you'll collect these bottles, then you'll break this thing, and then you'll come over and get these last 2 bottles. That's the only difference in the route. And it's just dependent on which strat you prefer to do. This strat's not too difficult, and is the faster of the 2. And then this strat is the safer of the 2, and is extremely easy, so you just double jump over and break it. From there, we're going to ride the elevator up. And when I get up here, I'm going to pause and take another drink of water, because I'm talking a lot. And water is really good when you're talking a lot. Okay. Alright, so from here, you're gonna want to get on top of this little railing here, and it's really easy. You're just gonna double jump and just kind of stick to the right there, and you're fine. um, from here, I'm gonna show off 2 different ways to do this. The first kind of half of this, and I recommend doing the way that I'm gonna do it because there's a lot less backtracking. It's a lot faster. So you're gonna get up to this part of like the little ramp thing here, like this little bridge, and you're just gonna double jump right up here. Well, I was trying to do it from a standstill. I promise it's easy. Alright. So you're gonna come up here and then just double jump up to this, and you're gonna jump down here and you're gonna get these bottles right here, and then you're gonna hold up against this and jump up on top of this, and then from here you're gonna double jump over here to this light, and then you're gonna jump up here and jump up here and grab these 3 bottles. Then from here, if you have faith in your abilities as a video game player, you can just double jump straight away down over to here and grab these bottles right here like this. Or, if you're not feeling comfortable with that, you can just jump straight away. You can just jump right down here from up top and grab this charm, and then make a kind of difficult jump up here. It's not that hard, but you can do that as well. Either way works. And then after you do that, you're just gonna come all the way back over here. And what you're gonna do this time is you're gonna jump on this railing and jump up here to get up here on this. And then you're just gonna come over here and grab this bottle and grab these 2 bottles. And it's important when you do this that you delay your second jump so you gain enough height to get on top of the briefcase or the bookcase. If you don't feel comfortable with that, or you just don't want to mess around trying to learn how to do slope jumping, which is, it's really easy. It's literally just as easy as just you do this. It's fine. But if you don't want to do that, you can break the bottle and you can just climb on the ladder and then come up here and break these 2. Either way is fine. And that'll be that way. Now the second way you can do this is you can start from over here, and instead of going left here, you can just go straight away to the right. You can break this, get this bottle, and then get those bottles if you would like. And you can come over here and break some of these books so they're not in your way. And then you can just roll up to this guy, and you should be able to get to him quick enough to hit him without him hitting you, provided you time it right. And then from here, it's really simple. You just jump up here, you grab these bottles, and then you'll just jump over to here and break these. And then you'll just push the bookcase out of the way and come over here and grab these bottles like this. And then I would suggest breaking that for your sanity if you trigger the alarm. And then you'll grab these bottles, and then you're at the exact same spot that the other route was. And all you have to do is just come back, jump on this, double jump over here, or you can go over that way because the guard's dead. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then you can come over here. You know, if you want, jump back up here, grab these bottles if you missed them, and then you should have all 30.
Press the circle to enter the vault.
And here we're gonna do 2, 3, 2, and then we're gonna put in the middle code last again. And to just kind of recap, again, this is just to give you extra time to pause the game. And then since we got the autosave, we're just gonna load the game and skip the vault. And it'll put us right back at the very beginning. Now it's important that you make sure you get that autosave before you load the game, not only to guarantee that you get the power up, but to also guarantee that you get the, or you make sure you don't respawn the cutscene that's there. From here, again, do your favorite method of skipping these 2 guys, and then come over here, get this guy to fire, and then we're gonna do this jump that you could have done earlier. To get up here like this, and just gonna come over here, and if you have a charm, you can just kind of face tank these guys and just run in, get shot, and then run across, and do that. If you want to burn the charm, you should have a gold charm by this point, but what I honestly recommend doing is just getting close to this double jumping and then landing on this little pillar guy here. It's not that bad. And then just kind of jumping out to the left, and then you're good to go. And then here we're gonna pause, we're gonna break this, and we're gonna exit level. And we're gonna jump down here, and we're gonna unlock this, and we're gonna break this. Now, I will state that if you are learning 100% and you already speedrun the other categories, and you know what pipe jump is, you can just go ahead and do pipe jump. Alternatively, I will probably, or what I'll do is in this part as well, I'll link a video that is just another way of kind of rerouting your levels around. To do this in a more expedient fashion, but it's a little quirky and a little weird with how the menuing works, so I didn't want to show that off. I wanted to just show the easiest, simplest way to do this, but I will probably link a video down below of how to do an alternate route that doesn't do pipe jump. So you can either do pipe jump, which is extremely advanced and I do not recommend it. You can do the alternative route that I will link in the description, which is kind of like a mix between the two. You know, it's mildly fast and is a little weird to get the hang of, but it's, you know, it's a little bit faster than what I'm going to be showing. Or you can just do the easy way, just run out, trigger this cutscene, and you want to make sure that you save the game. And then after you've saved the game, just load the same file right away. And the reason why you want to make sure you save the game, and I guess one thing to note here, now that we've done some more levels, I don't exactly know what the trigger is. I think it's having collected 3 treasure keys, but I could be wrong, it might be 4. You want to make sure you avoid running in front of this, and you want to come over here to the right. There's a cutscene in front of that. You're going to do that, and you're going to come over here. And the reason why we saved is, if we didn't save, we'd have to unlock this again and break it, and that's just bad. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to come out here, and there's a few ways of doing this. This is the casual way. It's coming up here. I'm just going to kill this guard so I can kind of show these off without having to worry about dealing with the stupid guard being a big dumb idiot guard. So, you can land on this, you can jump up here on this, and then jump out and back up to here and ledge grab this. That's the way you can do it. You can also come over here and do the same thing like this. This is pretty easy. If you want, you can also do this, which is a little harder. It's a little weird. Kind of like double jump up and like ledge grab this, and then jump up and ledge grab this. And this is a little slow, a little bit weird, but and you know, you kind of have to worry about making sure you don't get hit by this guy when you do that. But you know, there's all those different ways. You know, just whichever one you prefer to do. They're all pretty much equivalent speed, except you know, running over and doing it the casual way. Then we're just gonna come in here and do Gumbo Graveyard. Excuse me. Okay. So, I'm gonna walk in here, and I'm gonna load the game. Don't do this. I'm doing this because there's a really long cutscene where Raleigh talks and doesn't shut up for a very long time, and I don't want to have to talk over Raleigh. Make sure you get these bottles, and then there are 2 here, so you want to make sure you're keeping your eye out here, and you don't want to miss any of those. You're gonna want to kill this guy, because he can snipe you while you're doing this. When you're just starting out, I would just play it safe. Don't trigger the alarm. Just be chill. You know, you can skip some of the platforms if you want. Make sure you grab the bottles and things like that. Again, for your sanity, if you do trip an alarm, just break this. You don't lose any time coming to break this. Just do it for your sanity. You're gonna grab this, and then you're gonna come over here. Grab these 2, and then if you didn't kill that guy, you don't want to climb this. It's a little risky. You probably want to jump over here and then jump back. And then here, you're gonna jump up, grab this, and come over here. And you want to be really careful that you don't trip that alarm. And the reason why is when you trip that alarm, you can't get these bottles without going all the way over there and breaking that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk in, trip that, and break the bottles at the same time, and then kind of skirt the edge of that and do all this in one go. If you do trip the alarm, it's not the end of the world. You can just come over here, break this, and then come back. You know, you have a roll, so it's not that bad of a backtrack. Break the bottles now, and then just come back again like this. It's not that huge of a time loss. It's just something to be mindful of. And then we're going to be going over here. And there are 2 bottles up here. You want to be careful. There's also a guy, but, you know. Okay. And then it's faster to roll down this and unload the roll and hit him. But it is a little, you know, sketchy. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. And you want to roll and roll up to here, and then roll up here. If you're doing this pretty fast, he will never be here. He'll be rounding the left side over here. This is where he'll be at, so you don't have to worry about killing him. But if he is here, just kill him. Roll over, grab these bottles, and then come over here and hit this one. And this one should be your 16th bottle. I would recommend checking your bottle account before you drop down here. This is 16, and these 2 bottles over here are 15 and 14, or 14 and 15. So I would make sure you have 13 before you drop down, because you can't get back over there without either dying and resetting to that checkpoint or loading the game. From here though, you come over here, grab your last couple of bottles. I recommend going to the left, then coming over and kill this guy. And then break these, kill this dude if you want. I don't know, he's an idiot. And then input the vault code like normal. And unfortunately, there is no fast way to skip this. All the ways to skip this one would put you at the back at the beginning of the level or something. So it's faster to just watch this, unfortunately.
Coin magnet technique. All she had to do was stand near money, and it would magically jump into her purse. From now on, you'll automatically collect any coins you come near.
I do, yes. I run all of the Sly games. We're gonna come up here, select the key, and exit the level. And now we get to the first minigame of the run. These are always fun. I recommend hugging this left here, like hugging the left side here, and then coming up and killing him. If you want to be a little risky, when you land right here and break this, you can just roll straight away to the level here and he can't hit you. That's a little risky. I wouldn't recommend doing it personally, but either way is fine. When Sly's little machine is about right around here, you're gonna pause the game and you're gonna load your same file. And what that's gonna do is when Sly lands down here for the first time, a cutscene spawns where Bentley explains the minigame. Loading the game skips that, so you don't have to worry about it. And you're good to go. This minigame is just break 40 of these without letting a crab get one of them. The best advice that I can give for the minigame is don't be afraid to shoot crabs. Even if they are nowhere near a chest, don't be afraid to just kill them. You never know where the chests are going to spawn, and you know, if you leave one over there on the far right side, a chest might spawn over there, and then a crab can grab it, and you know, your shots have travel time. So you have to make sure you are paying attention, because if you're on the complete opposite side of the map, you know, there's like a second and a half of delay before your shot's gonna even, you know, reach the other side of the board. And even though the crabs die on one shot, you know, that's a long time. You see there, I almost lost that because I was on the other side of the board. You want to make sure that, you know, keeping track of things, especially when it gets down to these lower amounts. And they're starting to spawn a lot more chests. One thing to note is when they are carrying them through the little tubes and whatnot, and you kill a crab, the chest will just explode automatically. So you don't have to worry about shooting a bunch of shots and, you know, collect that chest right away. Just pay attention, make sure the chest despawns like it normally should, and you should be good to go. As soon as you've broken the 40th chest and Bentley starts talking, you can just exit the level and you'll collect the key automatically, and you'll have to wait for Bentley to talk. He's stupid. You listen to Bentley enough as it is, you know. From here, just gonna roll on over to the cannon, get it, and jump in here. And unlock this normally. You can still do the strat to glitch into the cannon, but there's no reason to. It's so much slower. So just unlock it and jump in like normal. We're plebs. We do a bunch of other cool things in our 100% runs. We don't gotta do none of that super fancy nonsense and all that jazz. Well, I guess I should point it out there just in case, if anybody is watching this and doesn't run in any of the other categories. These opening little boss cinematics, if you were running on a backwards compatible PlayStation 3 or a slim PS2, you can reset pretty much right after you've entered the boss fight. On PS2, I would wait a little bit longer. I would wait like another second and a half, 2 seconds after the autosave logos popped up. And you can reset to skip all of the intro cinematics, except for Clockwork. And then on PS2, you can't skip Ruby. But you can skip Raleigh, Mugshot, and Panda King still. If you're on a fat PS2, the only one I think you can skip is Mugshot. And then if you're running on PSN, you can skip all of them. And that's one thing to note. There's a pretty significant difference, if I remember correctly, between PSN 100% and playing on a PS2 disc. So I'm not really going to be going over that. I don't know all of the differences, and frankly, I don't care to learn them. You know, the PS2 version of the game is just as much as the PSN version of the game. If you have a PS2, I would just buy the North American version of the PS2 game instead of buying it on PSN. The only thing that's better on PSN is the frame rate. It doesn't look as bad. But otherwise, I recommend just getting PS2. Here, Raleigh's pretty basic. He jumps 5 times. On the 5th time he lands, he becomes a small boy instead of a big boy. And you hit him, you do that a couple times. Second time, drops a bunch of the other platforms. Really not that hard. In here, blah blah blah. Hit him, rinse, repeat. His 3rd phase, he's gonna sink the one that he lands on. You know, just keep going. Blah blah blah. And then 5th platform, you know, he's gonna shrink, hit him again. Then the 6th one, he's gonna shrink all the other ones except the one you're standing on again. And this time when he lands, instead of jumping around, you're gonna have to jump over his tongue 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here, you're gonna, oops. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this, because I waited too long. You're gonna load the game, and then after you've loaded the game, you're gonna hit him. And yeah, I missed. I paused way too late, because I was trying to explain the thing. But what you're gonna do is on that last hit, you're gonna pause the game, you're gonna load the game, and you're gonna hit him. And that's that. I guess what I can show off, that I didn't think to show off last time, is if you have any extra charms, you can burn them to skip one of these phases. Like if you have a silver charm, rather if you have a gold charm, you can let him land on you here, and then after he's landed on you, you can jump over to this platform or the one to the right, and let the one he landed on sink, and then rise back up, and you can jump over and you can hit him, and that's a little bit faster than getting chased. And then when you have the silver charm, you can let him land on you in this last portion. So you want to stand right around here, and when he jumps on you, you'll cancel out the animation, and then you're gonna load the game. And during the fade out, you want to whack him, and you'll get your charms back, and you'll damage him and kill him, all during the fade out. All of that will get saved back onto your progress. You'll have your charm back. You'll have killed Raleigh, done all that good stuff, and then from here, on this map screen, you're gonna be here on Eye of the Storm. You're gonna go left, 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 and then down, down, and that's the quickest way to get back to the hideout. That's something that I never really gone over in any of my other tutorial videos, is view map management. That's something to note. And here's another thing to note, and that is that we have all 7 keys and all 6 vaults, but we have not done any of the Master Thief sprints, and those are required for 100%. Now, don't get too worried. They're all really easy. They're super, super easy, and I'll go over those when it's time to go over them. But just don't worry. The Thief sprints are not difficult. You know, when I talk to people, that's the thing that puts them off. It's not the bottles. It's not having to use the fast ability. It's not trying to learn roll or anything like that. It's having to do the Thief sprints. And I can tell you right now, up front, personal, runner to runner, right? The Thief sprints are not as hard as they were when you were playing the game casually. There are so many things that you can do that cut out so many significant portions of the level. Some of them you burn through in like 15, 20 seconds, and it's that simple. So, okay. Trust me, I get it. I was worried, and I started doing them. It was a piece of cake, man. Piece of cake. And you can really easily practice them. But yeah. So, I am gonna stop this this first segment here. And this is just gonna be all of Hub 1 except the Thief sprints. Like I said, we're gonna be coming back to these Thief sprints later when we have another ability to perform them faster. For now, though, that's going to be the first part of the 100% kind of introductory tutorial thing. So far for this first level, there's not really been a whole lot of just beginner strats, because for the most part, a lot of these levels have been pretty similar. But yeah, so that's the first part of the thing. I will be linking the other parts down in the, well, I'll be linking the next part in the description so you can follow it. You know, part 1 leads to part 2, 2 to 3, etc., etc. And it should hopefully only take me 5 parts. I'll cover each hub world individually, and then another segment in between 2 of the hubs. But that'll be it for this first part. And yeah, welcome to Learning 100%.